my name is Dr. Mariam Ohanuga. Welcome to week 3, unit 1. In this unit, we are going to be looking at learning activities. By the end of this unit, you will be able to state 5 characteristics of learning activities for online learning. Differentiate between synchronous and asynchronous sessions in online learning. Select online learning activities for effective facilitation. We have earlier discussed the strategic importance of learning objectives and learning outcomes within the online learning environment. The realization of the learning outcomes is partly a function of appropriate learning activities incorporated within the content. Learning activities are those tasks in which actual student learning occurs within the instructional process. These activities assist teachers through facilitators to align the content with the learning outcome. Therefore, learning activities are expected to be designed in a way that the learning leads to the achievement of the learning outcomes. Let us look at some of the characteristics of learning activities. 1. Align with course outcomes. It is important to emphasize that learning activities are designed to achieve previously stated learning outcomes. The learning outcomes are also formulated to support learning activities. In other words, there is a close relationship between learning activities and learning outcomes. This relationship should be understood and considered in the selection of open educational resources, especially in an online learning environment. Focus on students' learning. All components of the activity should focus on how students will learn the content. In online learning, it is expected that all synchronous and asynchronous activities should be directed towards learners' acquisition of knowledge and skills. This implies that learners should be actively engaged in the learning activity. Have a clear objective. Each activity has the potential to provide a combination of information, solution, methodologies, and the opportunity to develop specific learning skills. These objectives need to be specifically identified. Then balance content and skill development. Learning objectives should be specified the proper balance between content and skill development. When a learner is exposed to something for the first time, the content will typically receive most of the attention. Later, the learner will want to focus on developing skills by applying this new content, and include an assessment of the activity. Upon completion of an activity, facilitators and learners should assess the learning activity itself. The results of this assessment should strengthen the future development and application of the activity. Types of online learning activities. Learning activities in online learning include participation in synchronous and asynchronous sessions, quizzes, gamification, case studies, project-based learning, and presentation, among other activities that could promote interaction and engagement within the instructional process. Synchronous session provides rich opportunities for a facilitator to engage learners in an online learning environment. Synchronous learning happens in real time. The learners can meet in person at the same place or log on to an e-learning platform that offers web conferencing or webinar tools to engage with the instructor and peers. While asynchronous learning has to do with learning that happens not at the same time or in the same place, students learn at their own pace and time from anywhere in the world. Students learn at their own pace and time from anywhere in the world. Most asynchronous learning environment provides teaching materials online. Learners read, view the materials, and then participate in online discussion forums. We have gamification. This involves the use of gamed elements to engage learners in the instructional content. Elements like badges, points, and others can stimulate learning activities in online learning. In summary, the instructional setting in online learning is learner-centered, and one of the ways to carry students along in the process is through participation in productive learning activities. Thank you for listening.